Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of Tim's Cheap Movie Reviews. And what I'm viewing today is a relatively unknown horror movie, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, which came out in 2000. Has a really poor rating on IMDb of 3.9 out of 10. And the summarize what it says on as what the movie is. A group of tourists arrives in Burkittsville, Maryland after seeing the Blair Witch Project to explore the mythology and phenomenon, only to come face to face with their own neurosis and possibly the witch herself. It was directed by Joe Berlinger, who also did Metallica's Some Kind of Monster. He was a documentarian. Kind of interesting. He picked him for this. He did this movie because it's not a documentary. It's not really even a mockumentary. I don't know what it is. It's kind of in a movie. It has some documentary aspects to it, and it's got flashbacks, flash forward. It's got all kinds of stuff going on. It was on a $15 million budget. It grossed $26 million in the U.S. So this movie was a major flop, coming off the year before with the Blair Witch Project, which made hundreds of millions of dollars, which was amazing. There was an owl in the movie that said the owl's a sign, it's kind of showing a sign of death. The movie was filmed in the Baltimore and surrounding areas, so that's cool. I mean, even the first one was. I think the one that came out in 2016 was not. It was filmed, I don't know, somewhere not around Baltimore. And I mean, I like the movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's kind of I don't know, I feel like it's a fuck you to the first movie in a way. It's a kind of a fuck you to people that are obsessed with these things. It's like people that take movies that probably they may have looked at as maybe, oh, it was real, or maybe it wasn't. Anyway, they obsess about it, and tourism pops up, and all the weird stuff, and people just have to buy everything up about it, eat into it. So they're like obsessed fans that have to go and explore this area, and they're so obsessed they end up going crazy. Like for the Blair Witch. Had some of the characters in it as Kim. She played. I think all the characters are. It's like the first one. All the characters are named after themselves. Kim's the goth girl. Tristan is she's some pregnant girl, and she loses her baby, and they think she turns into the witch. You got the other characters, and I wrote their names down, and I'm trying to remember what their names were. Anyway, Erica, she's the Wiccan. Anyway, you got the characters. They really don't matter. They don't even have to have names in the movie. They're kind of bland characters that go out in the woods to explore the Blair Witch story. They get messed up. They're so obsessed. They end up killing another tourist group. Go back. They're still going crazy. They end up killing a couple people, killing their friends. They end up in in the insane asylum with them, or talking to cops. And the video, they don't think what happened in their videos, because everything was recorded, because the one guy had cameras on there, so everywhere they went it was recorded. So I guess it had that documentary aspect, in the sense that everything they did wrong was somehow recorded, so you could see that what they thought was going on really wasn't going on. It was only in their mind, yet they still killed the people, but not in the way they saw it. Movie's very strange, but it's nothing. And I think it was nothing like Blair Witch Project. This movie is just nothing like it at all, which I liked. I enjoyed. What else? There's really not much else to talk about with this movie. I mean, it's group hysteria, obsession with the previous movie makes them crazy. That basically summarizes it. And it's done in this sequences of flash forwards, looking through films, flash backwards, cameras that were security cameras, how they killed the people and all that. Out of 5 stars, I give it split it right down the middle of 2.5. I don't know, it's not a complete disaster to me. I like what they did with it, but apparently the director was not happy that artists made some changes to it. So I'd be curious to see a director's cut of the movie, a director's version, because it could actually be better. Like like one just an example is Mel Gibson in Payback. I like the Payback, the straight up director's cut. The whole second half of the movie is completely different than what was seen in the movie that was released to the theaters. So Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, see it. Do you need to watch the first one to watch this one? No, because they don't really tie together in that aspect. I mean, there's some things in there that kind of talk about reference the first movie, but overall, I don't think you need to see the Blair Witch Project to see Book of Shadows, because they're really like two different movies that kind of they coexist in the same world, but not really. So see it. You may like it, you may hate it. More than likely, you'll probably hate it. And it's also a very 1999 2000 movie. The characters, the music, everything feels like 2000 or 1999. It's great if you want to kind of take a step back to 19 years ago, 20 years ago. It makes that feel is there. So that's my review on Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.